If you've ever dealt with acne, clogged pores, or blackhead, I'm sure someone must have recommended to you that you should use salicylic acid. But are you using it correctly though? Because one thing with salicylic acid is that when not used correctly, it can do more harm than good. Stay with me. By the end of this video, you would know how to use it, when to use it, what to pair it with, and what to absolutely avoid combining it with.
Tell me now, you're the one I've been dreaming about for my whole life. Had you on my mind, oh.
Let's start from the beginning. What is salicylic acid? Salicylic acid is a BHA, and what this stands for is beta hydroxyl acid. And unlike AHA that works on the surface, AHAs are alpha hydroxyl acid. Unlike AHAs that work on the surface, beta hydroxyl acids are oil soluble. So that means that they penetrate deep into your pores and they unclog those sebum, debris of dirt, and dead skin cells that build up there and cause acne or blackheads. Doesn't just clear your pores, it is also anti-inflammatory. So what that means is that it reduces the redness and irritation that has been caused by acne, and it is also mostly recommended by dermatologists for acne and blackheads. How would you would use your salicylic acid depends on how it comes. Salicylic acid can come as a cleanser, a toner, a serum, or even a moisturizer that can be used on the spot. So depending on how it comes, that will determine how you would use it. If you're using salicylic acid as in a cleanser, that means that you're getting it in a very minimal dose and it's having very minimal contact time with your skin because it is a rinse off product. I recommend this for beginners. You can use it as a beginner and then work your way up. If you're using salicylic acid as a toner or a serum, this means that you're getting more contact time. With this, it is more potent. However, it can also be drying, so you want to have a hydrating routine and be careful how often you use it. For on the spot creams and moisturizers that contain salicylic acid, you want to use it on the spot and also just use it on acne prone areas or blackhead zones. It can work that way as well. A little goes a long way, so you do not need to drench your face in it. When to use it? Well, salicylic acid is actually best used at night because it makes your skin a bit more sensitive to the sun. So using it at night reduces the risk of that happening. And also your skin actually does most of its repairing when you sleep. So it just makes sense that you use your actives at night. That said, if you're using your salicylic acid in a cleanser, you can actually use it in the morning. It's a rinse off product and you have very minimal exposure to it. How often should you use it? Someone might ask. 2 to 3 times a week just does the trick. And then when your skin doesn't feel dry or irritated anymore, and your skin has adjusted, you can build your way up to daily use if needed. But for most people, a couple of times a week just does the trick. So when not to use salicylic acid, if you have dry sensitive skin, you might want to be careful how you use salicylic acid. Not to say that you can never use it, however, you might want to have a hydrating routine if at all you intend to incorporate salicylic acid anywhere in this mix. Number two, when you are pregnant, dermatologists generally just recommend that you stay away from salicylic acid when you're pregnant. If you're going to use salicylic acid in rinse off products like a wash or a cleanser, you will need to consult with a dermatologist on how that would work. But typically, doctors do not recommend that you use salicylic acid at all during pregnancy. And number three, when you have a compromised skin barrier, if your skin barrier is broken, you want to focus more on building up your skin barrier than on using actives, especially actives like salicylic acid. Number four, if you have aspirin allergy. So salicylic acid is chemically related to aspirin. So if you have an allergy for aspirin, you want to stay away from salicylic acid as well. Best ingredient pairing with salicylic acid. Now let's talk about what plays well with salicylic acid because the right combination can level up your routine seriously. So number one, I would say niacinamide because niacinamide, you know, minimizes your pore size. It also controls sebum production. And then there's salicylic acid that unclogs your pores and is a bit drying. So niacinamide kind of brings a balance to that mix and they just work well together. Another ingredient I'm going to say is hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is a humectant and it retains moisture. And then you have salicylic acid on the other hand that is a bit drying. So hyaluronic acid just kind of restores whatever moisture that salicylic acid would have sucked or stripped away. So they just work really well together. And I would recommend that you use your hydrating products just after the actives. Another ingredient that works really well with salicylic acid is zinc. Zinc is usually found in most salicylic products that are for acne. They are just a natural theme. Zinc is antibacterial in nature and also controls oil and sebum production. So they just work well together. Another ingredient I would say is centella, especially if your skin leans towards the sensitive. It helps calm whatever irritation that salicylic acid might have left behind. And now, product recommendation to avoid completely when you're using salicylic acid. This is the part where people will skip, but I don't think you should do that because this is where people mess up their skin thoroughly. So you want to listen carefully. Number one, retinol. You don't want to use salicylic acid with retinol. Using retinol and salicylic acid is a recipe for dehydration. You don't want to use the both of them together. They do not play well together at all, especially if you're a beginner. I do not recommend that you do this to your skin, and they're both too strong actives, so it's a no. Another thing you don't want to use with salicylic acid is other exfoliating acids like glycolic acid and lactic acid. I don't need to explain this one. It's obvious. You don't want to be using too strong exfoliants at the same time. It just doesn't make sense. It's not necessary. Your skin doesn't need that much exfoliation, so calm down, chill out. Another one is benzoyl peroxide, because benzoyl peroxide is a bit more drying as well. So that's too much, too drying actives you're pairing together. That could really strip your skin of moisture and it's not necessary. Last one is vitamin C. People might be, oh, it's just vitamin C. Well, vitamin C and salicylic acid have two different pH levels, so they actually work against each other. They just cancel each other out. So, in my opinion, if you're going to be using vitamin C, you can use your vitamin C during the day and then use your salicylic acid at night, but never pair them together. They don't work together at all. To make this a bit easy, I'm going to also pin a cheat sheet in this video in the description so that you'll be able to download the cheat sheet and look at everything at a glance so that it's easy for you to know what works well with each which product, right? So, as a bit of a recap, salicylic acid is one of the best ingredients out here for oily and acne prone skin. It goes deep into your pores, it unclogs and calms inflammation. But just like every other active, it has to be used correctly. To repeat what I said in the entire video, use salicylic acid at night, start slow and keep your skin hydrated, and also be smart about the choice of ingredients to pair it with. If you found this video helpful, do well to like, subscribe, and share. I'm currently doing an active ingredient 101 series, so I'm going to be talking about other active ingredients like vitamin C, niacinamide, glycolic acid, retinol, and what have you. So keep an eye out for that. Do not forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this helpful. And I'm going to link a cheat sheet, a cheat pairing sheet in the description of this video so that you can, at a glance know what works well or what works best with salicylic acid. Also, drop a comment below if you're currently using salicylic acid or if you have used it before. How did it work for you? What went wrong with salicylic acid? I want to hear all your thoughts in the comment. I'm going to be there. I'm going to be keeping an eye out. So till I come your way next time. Bye, my loves. Bye.